Good evening, friends, and welcome to the world of the International Fab Talks. How many of you are ready to take a risk in life? I think each one of us might have taken a lot of risks with regard to our personal lives, the professional zone as well, right? We're going to talk about a lot of things today on the International Fab Talks as to how to be strong, how to emerge victorious, how to face the difficult situations in our lives. And let's get to know all of this today on the International Fab Talks as how we could face all our challenges bravely and rise like a phoenix. Various guests join us on the International Fab Talks to share their wisdom, their resilience spark. Join us, friends, to welcome our celebrity guest. She is Anindita Chaudhuri, joining us all the way from Pune, a lovely city in Maharashtra. Hello and welcome.
A big hello to you and all of the people who are watching us today. I hope you're doing well, all of you.
Yes, that's really nice, ma'am. Thank you so much. You wish good for everyone. You wished them in a very beautiful way. Friends, this is what we want. A person filled with lots of zeal, lots of happiness and joy within themselves. Even if you can't find it outside, you have to find it within yourself. You have to spread that positivity from within to others. You should shine like a light. You should be that bright candle. So friends, I go ahead and share our guest's profile as I do that always. And today it is none other than our special celebrity guest. She is none other than Anindita Chaudhuri. Dear ma'am, I go ahead and share your profile with your permission and then we begin the session.
Sure.
Thank you, dear. So friends, allow me to share the profile of our celebrity guest, friends. As I earlier mentioned, she's joining us from the lovely city called as Pune. It is located in Maharashtra. And where is Maharashtra? If you're out of India, it is located in India. That is Pune in Maharashtra, and Maharashtra is in India. Our celebrity guest, she is none other than Anindita Chaudhuri. She is the founder of Ecoserve. Now, what is Ecoserve? It must be like ringing in your ears. What is this? So let me add more to that. She is really a person connected with the environment. She loves to give her time. She's very passionate, and hence she's also known as a passionate environmentalist amongst her circles. She's also an ecopreneur. She is also connected with Green Audit, to put that right, CII Green Auditor, a TEDx speaker. She's a wonderful author. She's connected with the G100 Global Advisory Fashion and Textile Industry India. She's the president of Sustainable Business Council Maharahtra. She's a keynote speaker, and people love to listen to her when she speaks. And she forms an integral part of the G20 team. That's really great. She has an overall experience of more than 2 decades of work experience in top advertising and PR agencies. That's really great. She has empowered many women. It's not only she has empowered herself, she's been able to empower many other women throughout the country by reviving art forms. That's really nice, because there are several people, downtrodden people, who have the skill and art within them, but they don't know how to market it, or they do not know how to bring it out into the mainstream, or maybe put it out there in the right kind of way where people could buy their products and people could acknowledge the skill that they have. So here we have with us our guest. She is doing this wonderful job of connecting with all the people who have this beautiful art form or the different skills that they have, traditional skills, and she enables them to get the right kind of market opportunities. That's really nice. We are proud of her. And even if you are doing this wonderful work, dear friends, hats off to you as well. If you're enabling somebody who is not able to rise up to that level, if you're enabling them to rise up, if you're giving them the wings to fly, that's the beauty of your personality. That's what we have with our guest today. Her personality is to be connected with the women and enable them to rise high in their work and bring their skills out and let them lead a dignified life in the society. She has mentored and trained many institutions, corporates, and conducts both national and international webinars. That's really wonderful. She is the proud recipient of numerous awards. When you do something good, automatically people recognize you for your efforts, and you are rewarded in the right kind of way or on the right kind of platforms. To mention a few awards over here is Entrepreneur Excel Award for Social Entrepreneurs in 2021. She also received the Women of Substance Award, the Global Women Achievers Award in 2021. And she's also been awarded the Best Eco-Friendly Company, if I'm not mistaken, the Best Eco-Friendly Company, to put that right. If I've mispronounced anything, ma'am will check us later as the process goes on. She's also won the Global Leadership Award, the Global Leadership Award, India Bravery Award. I'd love to know about this. What is this? And Bharat Puraskar Award in 2023. She passionately works towards a safer and greener planet That's really nice. It's not only that human beings exist on this planet. Apart from us, there are other beautiful creatures around us that exist. We should coexist in the right way. And if we give importance to environment, apart from giving it to the human beings or fellow human beings around us, if you protect the environment, you are divine. That's what I feel. So let's get to know about this special personality here who's in front of us. She's none other than Anindita Chaudhuri, joining us from Pune, Maharashtra, India. Dear ma'am, thank you so much for being here. The first question that I'd like to put up to you is, how would you define yourself for all of us? Who is the real Anindita Chaudhuri? You come across as a very strong woman. You come across as a great professional and as well as a great environmentalist and as a great a person filled with compassion for others. Over to you to start this journey on the Throught Talks.
First of all, thank you for this beautiful introduction. It is all about you. You talk about so much about all the accolades and all the things that you do. And you rightly asked the perfect question that who are you as an individual? This is a very beautiful question. So as an individual, as a person, I grew up in a small city, which is in West Bengal called Durgapur. I grew up in the midst of greenery. There were sal, pial, and tamal trees. They are three deciduous kind of trees. And I was dancing amongst the trees. Today, I am an avid speaker. I am a TEDx speaker, and I do so many international webinars. But back then, the trees and the forest and my garden, they were my friends. I was an introvert. I was less of a people's person, and they were my friends. So all the while I was, every season I watched it change. And I grew up in a small town where people would not imagine that, I studied advertising and things like that were not heard in those days. People would say, okay, when you grow up, what do you want to be? An engineer, a doctor? But I didn't want to do any of that as I grew up as a child. I was a shy and an introvert girl who was very fond of nature. I used to play around with little puppies, and I was fond of animals. I was always fond of, taking care of nature, taking care of the stray dogs and animals. I used to feed them, but I was too scared to bring them home. Although I would feed them, but my dad did not want me to keep a pet at home. So, and we used to stay in such a beautiful place that rabbits would come at night to pick up, carrots from our garden. We could hear foxes at night. So I stayed in such a beautiful environment in a township. It was a British township, very beautifully built, lovely gardens. And I grew up like that in the midst of nature, studied always in a convent school, and was a shy introvert girl who was, who never had thought that she would go to a different city and would explore the world of advertising. So that was the real me, a shy, nature-friendly, compassionate girl who had a dream, but never knew what she would be able to do in her life.
Excellent, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing that. You've mentioned that you were an introvert, but it amazes me now you've transformed into such a wonderful human being. Like, you're so outgoing, you're so warm, you've been a TEDx speaker as well. You connect with not only the national platforms, even the international platforms with different kinds of people. You become outspoken. There are several unlucky people who are still introvert, but I really admire the fact that you have bloomed and, in a beautiful way, you've overcome that, being in your shell. And I'd love every woman, let me not be biased here, every individual on earth, please come out of your shell and enjoy this life. It's a gift, and mix and connect with different kinds of people across the globe. Now, what's coming, if I just close my eyes, what I try to imagine, the little rabbit picking up a carrot from your garden. That's really nice. Thank you so much for sharing all those beautiful incidents that had occurred during your childhood, ma'am. That's really nice. And I get to understand that that's how you have a great attachment for the environment, right?
Right.
Yes. That's wonderful, ma'am. Now, as a child, you couldn't bring the stray dogs home or the stray puppies home because your dad would not accept that. And this shows that you have compassion even for animals. Like, that's really nice. Now, at what age did you understand that you were an introvert, or you did not want to connect with others? You were very happy amidst nature. What was that age, like below the age of 10 or when you were in your teens, if I could know that?
Actually, in my life, I faced a personal emergency. That was when I was at the age of 8. At that point of time, today we take a lot of things when we take care that children should be aware of the fact. My mom, she faced, breast cancer. And at that point of time, it was very abrupt for us because I never knew what she was facing. And I stayed at my uncle's place for a year. But as we were children, it was like people were said that let us not tell her, she will get scared. And my brother was also very small. So I was living with my aunt and uncle who took care of me, but I was staying. That is the fear which I stayed with a lot of fear. I used to think that, it's like my parents have gone. Have they abandoned me? Have they left me? Why isn't my mother coming home? And if you look at the day and age, there was no internet, there was no way to understand. uh, Phones were also far and few, less number of phones. So obviously I would not connect with my mother for days together. And they was said that she's not keeping too well. And as society goes, there used to be like people used to talk about, oh my God, look, the poor child is facing so much. And that actually had, I was bubbly, I was nice, but actually that was the reason why I became quiet, because I used to be very scared. I used to be scared of losing my mother at a tender age. And so I was very scared. And that is where I, started getting scared of questions, of answers which I had to ask. And that's where, I remember when I was 4 and 5, I was bubbly and nice. But I think when I was 7 and 8, I slowly started getting into that shell. And where I could not understand what's happening to me, because people around would say, your mother's going to come back. But it was a year and she had not come back. And she was in a different city. It was only after I saw my mother after 6 to 7 months of her treatment that I knew that she was there, and that people were not just telling me that she's there and she exists. So all the rumors, I used to think that perhaps she's not there. My dad and my mother is not there. So that's where it is very, very important for us to understand that any childhood trauma can actually make a big impact on your upbringing, on the way you are, you face it. So I kind of could not relate to it. I could not tell anybody. So that's what I believe at the age of 8, I started becoming an introvert. And it is only when I realized that, after 2 years of her treatment, when she came back, and she was a different person. Obviously, she had to be, a lot of things were there, and she had to be, she was not the same strong person. She was fighting it big time, but I there were a lot of changes in her. So that made me think that I need to be more responsible, I need to take care, I need to be more quieter. And so perhaps I kind of started hiding things and becoming a little, what to say, on the quieter side. And I wouldn't reveal what I wanted to. I always felt I should not hurt anybody. I should not let my mother suffer anymore. And I would think that, I don't want her to get angry because of me. So all these things made me go quiet.
Yes, dear. I was listening to you very patiently and very, very. I mean, I'm stuck for words. You see now, because you've taken me on that journey where a little girl. I was just imagining the entire thing. You said it so well. You shared it so well that one could just imagine that happening. The little girl, and then how the people were speaking to her, and how she missed her mother. And the next part when you mentioned that you didn't want to hurt your mother, you didn't want her to get angry, you didn't want to cause pain to anybody, so you went in that shell, without wanting to let people know what's happening to you or how you're feeling. You just kept it all within you. And you mentioned about childhood trauma, and that is taking a toll on many of the people now. Till date, there are people who have suffered childhood traumas till date, and they are continuing to do that. So you shared that very well. That's really nice. Somehow I resonate with what you shared. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much for sharing all of that. My dear friends, no matter what childhood trauma one goes through, one has to emerge victorious. One has to believe in oneself and enable others to overcome the childhood trauma as well, right? Become more stronger. The strength lies within you. If you can't get it within you, meet the right kind of mentors. They will definitely guide you, or draw inspiration from the right kind of people to overcome all kinds of traumas. So ma'am has been enabling herself to overcome all the challenges which she had faced earlier. Let's get to know more about her journey today now. Dear ma'am, would you like to share something more about your mom? You've seen her suffer a lot. Would you like to share something more as to how the other events started evolving and how you contributed to her growth and to her transformation? Yes, dear, over to you.
One thing I realized from all this is that, she was she's still there by the grace of God. She's very strong. And she didn't, she told me that if I sit at home, I am going to only wonder about me getting worse and me getting, ill by the day. I don't want to think about my illness. She was very passionate about teaching, so she decided to continue her journey as a teacher. And we, all of us, had to, had taken roles. And my father also had a lot of role to play. I mean, I can say that, during that time where the fathers would just ask for a glass of water, I've seen my father doing a lot of taking a lot of chores on him, and dividing work amongst us so that my mom could go to work. She went for her teaching job, and that would keep her all engaged. And she would be really passionate about teaching. So it was going out of the house that was a medicine for her. And we realized the thing that, she would forget her pain, or she would forget her things. Anyway, she was strong mentally, and she would forget her things once she would be with her students, because she was very passionate about teaching. So I realized that, when you are very, very passionate about something, and when you can do that, you forget about your pain, or you forget about your trauma, or you forget about your things. So, as a family, we decided to enable her so that she can go and she can do it. Because obviously, at that point of time, we had to, as a parent, my father played a very important role in helping her out so that she could go for work. We all shared the responsibilities. Me, my brother, although we were small, but we started taking up responsibilities, small responsibilities, to see that, she can go out, because we understood that that's the way it is, that to keep her happy and to keep her engaged. And that is our contribution towards getting into, normalcy. So in spite of having all that, we used to go on our yearly, not yearly, then at least trips. Once in 2 years, my father made it a thing that we would go to visit parts of our country during the summer vacations, or this thing. We did everything like a normal family would do. And definitely he was very he was one instrumental person. He would be keeping us already, he would remind us always that, we have to be very cautious when my mother is around. So I think it is very instrumental for the entire family to be geared with all of this. When you see one member suffering, it's not that, it's that person's life partner who's only contributing. Even the children need to play a very important role. I realized that very early on in life. And so because my mom was always very scared that, maybe something would happen to her, so very early on she taught me to cook. She taught me a lot of things at the age where, my friends would be playing around and I would be doing learning things which she thought were very essential for me. So life skills I learned at a very tender age, and by the age of 10 or 11, I could cook, I could do a lot of things which
Oh,
were not expected out of a child at that age.
that's really nice, ma'am. You shared all of that. You opened up today like and you're giving me a lot of information about your life. Like you're so transparent and so genuine. That's really nice. And this is what I'd love people to share up, to open up, such that others get the strength and the courage to share and learn as well. Now, you said like, we all contributed to our mother's well-being. It's not only like the life partner or my dad had to take the responsibility. He taught us how to give back in the right way to all the family members, especially your mother. That's really nice. And I like the way that she went for to teach. She loved her a profession, and she found a lot of peace and happiness and strength when she connected with students and all of that. That's also really very nice, ma'am. You shared that. And you began to learn life skills that at a very tender age, cooking and all of that. Hats off to your mother for making you very strong. And we are proud that your mom is still there with you and you're sharing that with us. That's really nice. That's great. Now, dear, you have a wonderful brother as well. So how were you both? Usually when we say siblings, right, ma'am, they constantly fight when they are very young, especially below the age of 10. There's simply something or the other, they will be troubling each other for no rhyme or reason. So like when you knew that mom was not okay, did you both fight, or you both were very understanding? If yes, who was the person who was more forgiving if there were tiny fights or quarrels or squabbles between you?
First of all, this is the first time I'm sharing these personal aspects of my life, and I'm happy that sometimes it is very important for people to know that what is the journey, what is the journey of a girl from a small town, of an introvert having to face childhood trauma, that she can emerge as a butterfly and fly with colors. That is the reason why I wanted to share my personal journey, in order to say that there are traumas which people face in everybody's life, okay? And there are things, smaller or bigger. It could happen to somebody's brother, somebody's father, but these things should not let you down. You should learn things from that and you should apply it in your life. So before I go on to this, I would like to say a few things before I go on to the sibling question. I have a lovely relationship with my brother, and he looked up to me. He looked up to me. We used to fight normally, like this thing, and he was the one who was always fighting. But he was very protective about me, and very, very protective about me. And he would fight for me. He would fight with me. So we had a normal relationship. And that is one. He's my younger brother. So what I want to add here is what I learned as a child and what I was scared. So when I grew up and I got married, I have twin children. I have two boys who are 13-year-old. And I had taken it like, there's something was there at the back of my mind which would scare me, that what if I have something like that? What if I have, like a thing at an early age? What if there is some crisis? So, it was lurk in my mind because I've seen that happen in my childhood. So I never considered my boys as, I always have been friends with them. I've always had because what happens is that when you have to grow up all of a sudden, then you don't share your many things because you're scared not to hurt a person. So ever since they were a child, I always made it a point to see that they were close, they could share whatever they wanted. They had a beautiful relationship, not just like a mother and a son thing, of a friend. And the first relationship which I also have with my life partner is of friendship again. And I have explained to them that the friendship is the most beautiful relationship, and you should be friends first, because when you enter into a mother son, or a husband wife relationship, the friendship vanishes away, and that is what I don't want from any relationship. I also, many a times I've quoted my father, wherein I have said, I'm really proud of the way he dealt with it. when with my life partner also have shared. And I'm happy that, I've got into this same mode wherein we all as a family, as a unit, do everything and our responsibilities are divided. So I have used what I had in my childhood, and I've implemented it in a way that without any emergency also, let us do. If there is a festival in the house, the work is divided. One of them does the lighting, one of them would be doing the Diwali lamps, one of be looking at the guest sweets or something, one of them will be looking at something. So everybody's role is divided. And I've not never thought that these are boys, so they can't do a rangoli, or they can't be doing religious things because they are boys, or they can't do these kind of things. They can't make a garland because they are boys. Never. I've never differentiated the fact that they are boys, and they have always dealt with them as individuals. If I had a daughter, I would have done the same. If I have a son, I've done the same. They're of the same age. And what I could not find, what I had to grow up all of a sudden, I've always ensured to take care of my health. A have always ensured timely. I don't know, I by the grace of God, a touch wood, I'm okay right now, but I've always ensured to have tests in place and things in place and pre things in place, rather, which is readily available. And I also faced a trauma in after marriage, and that my boys have dealt in a very matured way. That is also an medical trauma, which is my boys have dealt in a very, very strong way. And if you want, I will, in my future, I will let people know that how I went through a very, very difficult phase. Even COVID was nothing in in comparison to what I went through.
Yes, dear. Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Thank you for opening up. And I love this when you said, my brother fought with me and he fought for me. He fought with me and he fought for me. So I understand that. That's very nice. And when they fight for us, when they protect us in the right way, when they stand with us for the right reasons, or they stand with us to protect us, or if we are, whatever it could be the reason. I really like this. You remind me of my brother as well. That's really nice. So all the brothers and sisters, do share this love, fight with each other and fight for them as well. Stand with them. Don't leave them alone. No matter what the reason could be, stay together. Ma'am, you also mentioned about your twin sons. That's really very nice. Thank you for sharing that. And you gone certain like medical conditions, if I'm not mistaken. You had certain tough times to overcome those challenges as a family. And also you mentioned like how to bring up male children. Like just because they are boys, they should not do this, they should do this. It's nothing like that. Their life skills, teach everyone life skills. You're a great mom as well. Thank you for sharing all of that. What has motherhood taught you?
First of all, when I came to know that I'm going to have twins, then I was literally on the verge of tears, because managing one is a difficult job. How would I do it too? So it has taught me a lot. Motherhood has made me a complete different human being. It has made me understand that the most important phase of my life, which actually I will come to it later, because first of all, I wanted to give a full pledged time to my children. I wanted to give the first 5 to 6 years. And like I said, I was doing a fantastic job in my career. I was in I was zenith of my career. I was in a very senior position, and I was doing really well. But at that point of time, people usually think 10 times before quitting their job. But for me, those 5 years, first of all, because they were twins and I didn't want to have two maids, because one maid or something wouldn't be managing the boys. And I had to have two people, and I didn't want them to be, although I had support system in terms of having maids, but I didn't want the upbringing of the children to be the basic upbringing to be going in the hands of the outside people. And as I said, my mom was unwell, and when my children, my 1 year old, my mother-in-law passed away. So I did not have any so-called family as such to do all this. So apart from my husband, so I decided that I will give this full 5 years. I will enjoy parenthood. I will enjoy motherhood. I'll see them grow, because you know what? These years, they don't come. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, these don't come. That, you know, those 5 years were the golden years of my life. I do not want to miss a single moment. I do not want my to miss a single moment. You know, two of my children, when they learn to walk, when they learn to talk, what are the first words they said, when they learn to crawl. I didn't want to miss out on those moments, because I believe that everything else can come to you, money can come to you, and everything else. But those days, those are the golden days which never come back to you. And I knew that I had my hands full. Obviously, I was not planning for another child. So I did not want to miss on that. And I did not want us to miss on the role of parenting. It was tough. First 2 years were really tough. First 2 years, you know, it was like but of understanding. It is not, motherhood doesn't come naturally, and it is not an injection that can be put. It has to be absorbed, it has to be seen, and you know, it has to be a mix and match of your practical and your theory. So whatever you read, finally, you know, each child is different. And one thing I've always observed, that whether I put them to same clothes because I'm liking it, I've always treated them as two different individuals. And this is for all, I guess, twin parents to understand. And all those people who think that, oh, twins, then they must be thinking all same. I have always found that two of my boys have two different personalities. And I have always linked with them, with their dress, their sense of everything has been different. And I'm happy to say that both of them have very different friends, very different likes, and very, very different personalities. And I have always ensured that I don't club them into one. You know, if a bright color suits a person, another light color suits. When they were very small, till 1 year age, it was okay. But once they started walking, and their, you know, their personal things started getting, I started understanding the various personalities of my children, and I've always dressed them accordingly. And that is something which, you know, a lot of people used to ask me, why don't you put the same clothes on? I said, they are in the womb in the same place, but they are two different people, and you have to respect them for that. And more so, as I grew, as they started growing up, I came to know how they are different, and I started channelizing my energy towards them in a different way. And that's what motherhood taught me.
That's really nice. Thank you for sharing all of that. You know, I could visualize all of those, times which you had with your little children. And I really love this, the way you said, giving them space to, branch out in their own way. You know, let them not be the same. Let them have their own thoughts, their own views, their own personality. Let them bloom in the right way. Usually when we have twins, right, we always are focused on dressing them in the same way, giving them the same things to do, or maybe same things, almost the same. So I think this is a big takeaway for all the parents who have twins. That's really nice, ma'am, which you've shared. That's wonderful. Now, if I may ask you, were you ever confused any time to identify them? Because I'm sure they are identical twins, right?
No, they're not identical twins, they're fraternal twins.
Oh, I get that. For identical twins, it becomes quite difficult. So I wanted to ask, like, if it
No,
was.
during the first few months, it was difficult, because the first few months, it becomes difficult to understand the feeding schedule. You know, you had to literally, I had to tick mark whom I have fed, because both would cry at the same time. And it would be difficult for me at the middle of the night to understand and whom I had fed. So I had taken a big bassinet, you know, a thing for them. But lately I realized that it was not working out. In the first 2 months, I realized that no, I have to keep them in separate cribs, because I'm not understanding who's crying and who's been fed, especially at night. In the morning, it was okay, but in the night, it would be very tough sometimes to understand. So that is why I took two cribs, and then I had to, you know, this thing. So although they were not, identical, but yes, it was a tough job to understand, when you know, are a new mother.
Yes, I get that, ma'am. That's really nice. Thank you for sharing that. Now, you've mentioned about giving your time to your children, as you said, that you cannot get that time back. Seeing them walk, seeing them talk, the first time talking, the first time walking, doing all those different things during those initial years. So I really applaud you. And I wasn't there with my children because I was constantly working, going out to work and coming back. And you said that you didn't want to leave your children entirely under the care of maids, because I understand that you wanted to be there for them, and we are proud of you and the different moms who are standing there or who are giving their time to their children, especially during this crucial period, that is from the day they are born till the age of 5, maybe. If you are there for your children, after that they tend to go to school and get friends and all of that. I understand. And much, much more. Thank you so much. You're a great person. You have a beautiful personality. Stay blessed and stay connected. More power to you. We'd love to see many more people like you. May your tribe increase, is all that I can say.
Thank you so much for having me for this interview. I loved every bit of it.
Same here, ma'am. Thank you so much. Stay connected and stay blessed. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. All else I can say, thank you very much. This was a beautiful journey. Share this video with the right kind of people. You never know who may be inspired. If you'd love to buy the products or be connected with our celebrity guest, we'll share her details in the description when we share this video recording. And if you like what we are doing on the International Fab Talks, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Above all, prioritize your health. Take care of your family as well. Give importance to all of them and be compassionate towards people who really require your support. And of course, don't forget to protect the environment. Signing off now from the International Fab Talks. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.